Tuesday night, one word to sum it up: frustrating. And I think this game couldn't come sooner enough for Ross Jenkins and the squad against a completely different team to Alfreton. As the two teams swap round, it looks as though Oxford City have won the toss to get going in this one. But it is going to be a good game of football, this, with two footballing teams that like to keep the ball on the deck as much as possible. So we're in for a treat today.
And Andy, a few changes to Ross Jenkins' starting 11, with Andre Burley and Jalen Jones returning from international duty. Tom Scott back in the starting 11. He was on the bench on Tuesday. That's going to be really key, isn't it, having those two experienced defenders back at the heart of City's defence today?
Absolutely. Tom Scott back in, like you say, and also the international lads back as well. And tell you what, after a week in the Caribbean, I bet they're absolutely loving this.
I would say they probably aren't, because it is still pretty chilly. The wind is blowing an absolute hoolie. It's not snowing, it is pouring with rain though here in the High Peak district. Oxford City will be kicking off in their away strip of fluorescent lime green. They've kicked off back to the new goalkeeper Jonathan McCauley, and for the first half, I'll hand you over to Andy.
Yeah, we're underway in the pouring rain. The snow stops and the rain absolutely hammers it down, but we're underway here against a very good team in Buxton and a team in Oxford City that are still, despite their recent upturn in form, even considering Tuesday's defeat, a team that are very much on the up under Ross Jenkins. But it's the home team that are starting with the majority of possession so far, as Aaron Drew's called into an early bit of defending as he heads to hands with Papula. And it's a good switch of play by the captain and former Sheffield Wednesday Academy graduate Connor Kirby, who makes sure that the play is switched. But Oxford City do well to get back in their numbers and start to defend this attack. There's a decent noise from behind the goal, and to our right, where the Buxton players in their blue shirts, socks and white shorts are shooting. To the goal behind the left, there's absolutely no one because it's an open terrace, but McEachran has nicked the ball off Coleman, and City can spark a counter-attack here. Maybe not quite a counter-attack anymore, but they still have the ball as Burley finds Carbon, who sets McEachran down the right. An early chance here, but McEachran's cross is straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, True Grant. Josh Parker was lingering inside the 6-yard box, but McEachran couldn't quite pick him out. The informed striker wasn't called up to the Antigua and Barbuda squad. And he's got that weird look, Josh Parker, with short sleeves and gloves on, which I never really get. But we'll let him off because it is quite cold down there. I'm going to give a shout out to the Oxford City first team analyst Dom Weway, who was down there, and he walked into the tunnel and he was absolutely drenched when I saw him. You maybe if you're here, you would literally just see the rain bellowing down. But at the moment, just over 2 minutes gone, it's Buxton 0, Oxford City 0. Oxford City with the first sniff of a chance. But at the moment, Buxton are looking to keep the ball. I think Oxford City are prepared for that. I think, speaking to the manager in the week, they're prepared to have a lot of longer spells without the ball, which from an Oxford City point of view they're not really used to. They're used to dictating the play and controlling matches, but today they might have to do some defending as Josh Ashby's fouled and wins a free kick. Here's Burley, and his pass is rather lax and is up before he can reach Reece Fleet, but luckily for Oxford City, Buxton can't gain any more yards and they go back to the towering centre half, Burton. Back three for Buxton today. They're matching up with Oxford City and vice versa. And here is Burton, who shifts the ball into the channel. It's not a bad ball, it's gone over Burley's head, but luckily before Josh Williams, the left wing back, can run onto that ball, Burley recovers and heads it back into the hands of one of the latest signings, Jonathan McCauley, on loan from Watford. He regains his spot in between the sticks. He made a remarkable save on Tuesday as well. Unfortunately, straight afterwards, Alfreton scored 2 in 2 minutes. But it was a promising start to his Oxford City career. And there's a promising start to this game because Ashby's nicked the ball and he's in on goal here. Ashby, shot towards goal, blocked by Burton. First corner of the game falls to Oxford City on this near side. And a couple of times already in this game, City have nicked the ball off their counterparts and have sparked a counter-attack. There's going to be a little bit of a break whilst Ethan Mann gets some treatment, but it's been a positive start.
Yeah, it has been, and I was pleased there to see Josh Parker was really clued up there because he knew he was offside, so he didn't interfere with that little move there that Josh Ashby burst into the box and forced the corner. You mentioned the crowd; they're all huddled into the three stands. I'm slightly unsurprised that there's nobody on the open terrace end today because it is blowing an absolute hoolie up here. The highest football ground in England, so if it's going to blow, it's going to blow up here, and I can confirm it really is blowing a gale.
It is indeed. And City's still having to wait for this, as Mann is just going to have more treatment, and going down within 4 minutes. It's not time wasting, is it? Genuine injury. Still 5 minutes gone at the Sam. Oxford United 0, Middlesbrough 0. We'll of course bring you updates throughout the afternoon from our local games. That's on 95.2 FM if you want to listen to that with Jerome and the team from the Kassam. Oxford United looking to continue a positive start to the season after the international break. And we're going to be made to wait, so you've got to hope that Josh Ashby, who's going to take this corner, one, gets a good delivery in, two, puts it past the massive pylon that's in floodlight that's in our way here. It's quite a decent press box here at Buxton, but the view is quite obscured by a number of items, and Mann is going to have to make way.
Yeah, first corner, isn't it? And we'll just see whether Josh Ashby copes with the conditions and the swirling wind. It might be quite tricky to get this first one spot on, but we'll see, because it's going to be coming in now, Andy.
Well, here we go. So the whistle goes, so we're ready to get back underway. Ashby with both hands in the air. It's not a bad delivery. It flutters around in there. Falls to Fleet. He just helps it into the air, but it's cleared away. Shot from Coyle back into the box, but it's blocked, and now Buxton will counter. It's not a bad run as well from Jack Stobbs, the number 7 for Buxton, but Carbon, the City youngster and right wing back today, does well to get back and defend that. But Buxton is still coming forward here, and that's going to be the second corner of the game. Run apiece. Jalen Jones, with his first real defending to do after the international break, is there to block the cross, and now City have some defending to do. Also, Ethan Mann, who was down injured just a few moments ago, is back on the pitch for Buxton. It's been a end-to-end half so far, but this is the first real chance that we'll see what Buxton can do. So there's 2 men over this corner. It's going to be an in-swinger. Everyone crowding Macaulay in the Oxford City net. It's a real crowded 6-yard box. In-swing, right-footed cross. It's headed away by Jones out to the edge of the area where Kean Coleman is, played back, and Buxton will just recycle possession. Here's the captain, Kirby. His pass is cleared out, and City will hustle and harry the defence, and they do well. Here's Carbon. It's not a bad idea, but his pass is just behind Josh Parker and will float all the way back to the goalkeeper, True Grant. He'll take his time over this and then play the ball out to Mann, who will have his first touch since coming back on the field since that injury.
Yeah, that first corner for Buxton there, Andy. Case in point from Tuesday, Alfreton getting the ball into the box an awful lot, and City were missing the height of Jalen Jones, but Jones was completely dominant in that aerial headed clearance, and that's going to be crucial this afternoon, because Buxton, I rather fancy, will set up the same sort of way as Alfreton, trying to launch balls into the penalty area, and with Jalen Jones back at the back, that is a big plus for Ross Jenkins' men.
Well, at the moment, Oxford City keeps winning the ball. Josh Parker goes down, no foul given, and City just keeps snatching the ball away from the men, but Andre Burley misplaces another pass. It's been a bit of a shaky start from him. He went on international duty with St Kitts and Nevis over the international break and scored in the first of a 2-legged tie against Cuba, and St Kitts and Nevis rather shockingly won 2-1, but in the second leg they were well beaten by Cuba, and now unfortunately for Andre Burley they're out of the Gold Cup preliminary rounds, and there's a chance here. Jalen Jones beaten by Ben Salt, and he'll come forward inside the box, cuts onto his right foot. He has options here, and it's 1-0. It's a steady finish from Ben Salt, and it looked rather too easy as he intercepted the ball, cut into his right foot and sent a shot beyond Macaulay inside the Oxford City goal. And with 9 minutes on the clock, Oxford City go behind on the road to Buxton, and it's Ben Salt who has given them the lead. Meanwhile, there's a injury here as Ethan Mann has gone down again. They're going to have to make that change. Ryan Viggers is going to come on for his debut. But, Kieran, that is the nightmare start for Oxford City, and exactly not what they wanted after a promising start to the game, really.
Yeah, I was just singing the praises of Jalen Jones in the air, wasn't I? But he was beaten all ends up on the deck there, and Ben Salt, it's a smart finish, wasn't it, from inside the penalty area? Not an awful lot that Jonathan McCauley could do, but question marks really over the defending. It was a little bit, as you said, you coined the phrase, it was a little bit too easy, wasn't it, for Ben Salt? And yes, it was a good finish, but we're 9 minutes into the game, and City, as has happened quite a lot this season, have to come from behind.
Yeah, I say that pretty much every week, it seems like that, but it's something that Ross Jenkins will need to work on, because Oxford City, although they've had their fair share recently of coming back from behind, they can't do it in every game, and especially against the Buxton team that will probably start to get into their groove more. And just as I say that, there's an opportunity for Kirby to run down the right wing and spark a counter-attack, but the ball isn't as accurate as he would have liked and goes out for an Oxford City throw-in. As the rain continues to belt it down here. 10 minutes gone. Buxton 1, Oxford City 0 in National League North. And just as Kieran was saying before, or just towards the beginning of the match, it's Oxford City's impressive away record that under Ross Jenkins, which is coming under threat here. And despite the upturn in form, they are still teetering towards the bottom of National League North. There are a few postponements around the league today, so there will be a little bit of a shift in the table come 5 o'clock. Oxford City will hope they'll be shifting upwards, but they'll try not to be too disgruntled by going behind. It's been a promising start, but Buxton continue to pile on the pressure here. Ball into the right channel. Popolo's going to get to that. Right inside the corner quadrant. Does well to find Stobbs on the right. Stobbs, right-footed cross. Oh, and it's not dealt with again by Jalen Jones. We get stuck underneath his feet, but luckily it's cleared by Burley. But as Josh Parker latches onto that clearance, he's flagged offside. Just by the flag, Buxton take it by the halfway line. Doesn't come to anything. Throwing on that far side. Oxford City, you get the impression with that goal has really lifted the home side, and they just have to keep their heads above water here, quite literally, because it's absolutely throwing it down. But here's Jones, back to McCauley, who's had nothing to do today apart from kick the ball out of his net. He'll be happy that he gets a touch to pass it back to Jones, who has the ball inside the Oxford City half. He'll spray a ball towards the right wing and towards absolutely nobody, and True Grant, the Buxton goalkeeper, will be happy to let that bounce into his hands. He'll drop the ball and play it into the feet of Liam Ravenhill. Plays it back to Grant. Back to Ravenhill. Right, almost hugging the right touch line here. He sends another ball over the head of Lewis Coyle and looking for Stobbs. That seems to be the game plan for Buxton today. You mentioned a little bit about it before, Kieran. They're looking for those balls over the top of the two fullbacks for Oxford City in Coyle and Carbon. Maybe that's where they see their luck will be today. Throw in though for Oxford City. Aaron Drew here. Throws up the line, just looking for Parker. He is underneath it, flicks it on into the centre of the field, but McEachran will have to chase it as Williams plays it back to Grant. Parker just trying to shrug off Burton, who was at Chester last season. That's the next game for Oxford City, but they'll have to defend again. Here come Buxton, down the left-hand side this time. Here's Coleman. City getting back into their shape to force them back, but it's pretty relentless stuff this from Buxton. They're keeping the ball well, and they're coming forward here. Ravenhill takes the touch, brings the ball across the halfway line and is looking for another blue shirt. Doesn't find one, so goes all the way across the pitch and to the left, and will just keep possession in the hands of the Bucks. Here's Burton, the central defender, the centre defender, sorry. Ball across, again over the head of Aaron Drew, looking for Stobbs. Again, he'll get onto the end of that. Drew gets a touch on it. It's going to be another corner to Buxton, their second of the game. So I was just talking about Dom Wee-Way, and he's just come up to the stand here, and he's absolutely drenched still. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what's going on down there. As Connor Kirby comes over to the pod, which is rather obscured by the main stand here at the Silverlands Tarmac Stadium here in Derbyshire. So we're just waiting for this. It's a different setup from Buxton. They're not inside the 6-yard box this time. They're all inside the box. Kirby takes it short. It's back to Kirby again across the box, and Papula's shot is blocked. Still coming forward, Papula, but it's well saved. Here's Carbon. McEachran back to the goalkeeper in Macaulay. He can't take any chances with that. His clearance is very good though, and Parker sets away McEachran. McEachran bursts forward down the centre and finds Scott out wide, and it'll just allow Buxton to race back, get back into their shape, but more importantly for Oxford City, they'll have a little bit of possession here where they can try and fashion a chance. It's been a difficult start to just get out after a few promising moments in the opening 5 minutes, but it looks as though that City are getting back into their shape here. Macaulay finds Jones. Ashby will drop deep for an option, plays it centrally to McEachran. He'll drop deep from his more advanced role to find Burley hugging the right hand touchline. McEachran just dropping off to create an option again, as is Fleet. Finds Ashby, who's come back up the pitch here, and he'll have a do. Ashby, his shot is blocked, and it's not a bad effort from Ashby, whose shot bounces away for a corner. 2-2 on corners now. Fortunately, in the actual score, it's 1-0 to Buxton, but there's an opportunity here for a corner. And just looking at the Buxton team, usually, Kieran, I'll say to you, well, this team looks quite tall. Pardon me. For Buxton, it's the other way around. They're quite a small team for a National League North standards.
Yeah, it's unusual. City have got a bit of height in there, haven't they? So they've taken this one short, though.
They've taken it short, and here's Ashby, who's closed down straight away from Keane Coleman. He does shape for a shot. McEachran bundled over inside the area. Nothing given. Fleet crossing towards the box. This time, Burley's dragged down. A few appeals from the Oxford City bench. The referee is not giving anything there, though, and that'll fizzle out for a goal kick. Couple of harsh shouts for a penalty in the box there, Kieran. Anything that you thought was stonewall or maybe even worth a second glance?
No, not really. I think that if that had been the other end, we wouldn't have been looking for a penalty for either of those. Burley went down rather a little bit too easily, possibly lost his footing on this slippery surface as well, but no, I don't think either of those really were a good shout for a penalty.
I have to agree with you. But True Grant there, who's going to take the goal kick. He puts the ball down and the wind takes it away to his right. It's dead centre here. Josh Parker is just shouting to the referee that he wants it to be taken. But eventually it does get taken with the referee's encouragement. Jones heads it straight back into a blue shirt. Kirby rescues possession. It'll go back to Grant. Takes a touch. And he'll play it out to his left. City will press with McEachran, but there's no one pressing with him, so Buxton will go long. And Jones's header into the path of Burley is wayward and goes out for a Buxton throw in, down by the piles of snow. It's been a hell of an effort from the Buxton team of volunteers that came in from 8 o'clock this morning to clear the snow off the pitch. They cleared it off yesterday as the team train here, but they needed extra help with the surrounding area. And right now we can see massive piles of snow all around the side of the pitch, but it's been one hell of an effort from the volunteers to get this game on today. And you know how hard that is, don't you, Andy? Because you were doing the same on Tuesday. Yeah, I was actually, and you know what? I won't take all the credit. There was Dom Wee-Way, the first team analyst, who's just ran by us now, still drenched by the way. Jenkins was doing some, as was Jordan Piper, who were both on the City backroom team, as was Josh Ashby before the game. He had a shovel in his hand and was doing his best to get the game on. So he did a really good job to get Tuesday's match on. Well, here's Scott, does well to get the ball out of his feet, and it's a brilliant ball from Tom Scott, with Jaden Carbon will use his pace to get onto the end. Has the ball. It's not a bad cross from Jaden Carbon, but just as Coyle was lingering at the back post, it went into the hands of True Grant. And now there's another chance for a counter-attack. Luckily for Oxford City, Macaulay's on hand to rescue the ball. The pass was wayward, but Buxton and Oxford City couldn't quite find the right space to pick it on. City have the ball now on the edge of the area with Coyle. Plays it centrally to Ashby. Finds Fleet around 30 yards out from goal. He's got everyone ahead of him. Coyle cuts onto his right, then tries to poke a pass through to Parker, but it's blocked by a number of blue shirts, and straight away the ball hit up to the right-hand channel. Here's Jones. City starting to have a little bit more possession. Ashby back to Jalen Jones, who'll take his time over this.
I reckon Dom's just trying to get a bit dry, isn't he? So you can't get any wetter, to be fair.
I think that, and he's giving him a good aerial view of the game where he can poke holes in everything.
And try and drip dry, is he? That's what he's doing at the moment.
Well, he'll be dripping. It's Tom Scott. Carbon now. Burley just inside the Oxford City half. He'll play the ball over the halfway line to Fleet. He'll play it back. They're just creeping up the field here, Oxford City, but it's good play. McEachran just trying to find Jaden Carbon, but he just hadn't timed his run. But he finds the ball there, but his cross is cut out. Still clear. It's not a bad touch at all by Brennan, who's taken down by Burley. No option for the referee there. That is a free kick. Just wondering if the referee, Alexander Beckett, is going to give Burley anything more than that. Perhaps in the second half he would, but I think he's just going to let it slide here now. So just ticking over the 20-minute mark here. Buxton 1, Oxford City 0. Ben Salt's goal in the opening 10 minutes has given Buxton the lead, but Oxford City are slowly growing into this one. Elsewhere at the Kassam, 22 minutes played there. Oxford United 0, Middlesbrough 0. It's on 95.2 FM. Jerome and the team. If you want to listen to live commentary on that, here on BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website. Commentary from National League North, Buxton versus Oxford City. Ashby fouled. The referee waits to play or to see if there's an advantage and doesn't see one. Kirby will try and delay the start. He just has a little tussle with Josh Ashby, but they both laugh it off. Good refereeing there to see if there was any chance that Oxford City just could recycle possession. Soon as there wasn't, he blew. But the ball's back with Macaulay here. Just needs options around him, Macaulay, just to pick a pass. But Buxton are pressing high up the field. They're staying in the shape. Macaulay floats one towards McEachran. Makes an arch for the back ahead of the, I think it was Burton. Drew into the path of Fleet, who has the ball touched off him by Ravenhill, but does well to poke the ball through. City are finding passes that break through the lines here. They just need to get into the final third a little bit more. Here's Drew. Coyle now to McEachran. First time pass back to Coyle, who comes inside. It's not a bad ball. It's the play. Carbon's there to intercept it. He's just got Burley on as an option. Fleet now. Pass from Oxford City, but Buxton just happy to stay where they are. They're a well-disciplined team. You get the impression that with the scoreline as it is, it's going to take something special for Oxford City to get something out of this one, especially with clearances like that, as Macaulay, the goalkeeper, is pressed by...
Got a deflection though, so it's actually what City did get.
He was pressed by Ravenhill, managed to hit the ball off Ravenhill, and does go out for an Oxford City throw-in. Didn't quite look like it from the press box at first, did it? But luckily for Oxford City, they still have possession. Fleet. It's not a good ball, and it proves to be, as Coyle can't control it and hits it straight into the Buxton dugout. It would have taken a special touch on Coyle's weaker foot to keep that in. Burton now, you haven't had the ball for a good few minutes. It's been decent from Oxford City, but without the real punch to the attack. But Buxton doing the opposite. They'll look to burst down the left here. Carbon will follow his man. Does well to nick it back off him in the corner. And does even better to play it against his man and out for an Oxford City goal kick. Jaden Carbon's won that there, and he's done really well, the young defender.
Yeah, that was really good defending, wasn't it? Because he was under a lot of pressure. He had his back to the striker and managed to sort of flick it off of him to win the goal kick. That's really good defending from the young man.
Oxford City Academy graduate. He's been a very big... rise for Jaden Carbon. He's been involved with Oxford City since the age of 8, and that...
Josh Parker's won a free kick.
Well, I was just about to say there that Josh Parker had run the free kick, the referee blew, then Tom Scott picked up on a loose ball and Kieran Burton went flying through on Tom Scott. It was a high challenge. The play had stopped. Burton and Scott just have a little bit of afters there. I thought that was quite dangerous.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think the referee saw that because he was giving the free kick and talking to Josh Parker when that happened. But I think had he seen that, I think Kieran Burton could have found himself in the book, to be honest.
Here is Parker. Has he won another free kick for another foul? No. Not enough in that, according to the referee. Jones, this time it's a poor touch from Buxton, which allows McEachran to wiggle through. Just on the edge of the D here, McEachran does really well to find Coyle, but it bounces out to Ashby, just drifting out to the left-hand side here. Scott now, he'll bring the ball back to the centre. Drew. City just need to creep forward here. They need to create something in the final third, but that pass from Fleet just breaks down, and Greg Lee has scored for Oxford United. They take the lead at home to High Flying Middlesbrough. Big goal here, but there could be another chance for Buxton here in National League North. They'll come forward again. Here's Popola, but brilliant defending there from Andre Burley to track back and win the ball. So more on that. Greg Lee giving Oxford United the lead at the Kassam. That home record under Des Buckingham keeps on going. It's a fantastic start for the Yellows there. That's on 95.2 FM if you want to listen to that championship live commentary on your digital radios or DAB here. Oxford City trying to work their way back into the National League North game. Parker's flagged as offside. No, in fact, the foul's given against Andre Burley. Takes us through to the halfway point of the first half, so I'll hand over to Kieran Bushnell to take us through.
Yeah, I think Parker was offside, but the referee had already given the free kick for the foul inside the City half of the field. And as you say, Andy, City just starting to find their feet a little bit, playing a little bit of good possession football, not really opening anything up at the moment and creating too much, but as long as they keep hold of possession a little bit more and pass it around, then they can perhaps get a breakthrough. And there's a chance here for a breakthrough because Josh Ashby, that's a really important and good challenge from Josh Williams, because if Williams hadn't timed that right, Ashby was clean through on goal. Picked up by McEachran in the centre circle, who turns his man. McEachran shoved in the back, but still with the ball into Coyle. Coyle gets the ball across and it's cut out well by Burton, and it's going to be another Oxford City corner. And they are certainly starting to ask a few questions, Ross Jenkins' men. Corner number 3. Oxford City trail by a goal to nil.
I'm just going to give a shout out quickly. I was talking about moving the snow. I've just had a text off our club secretary Lee Pankow. He wants his fair share of credit, and he deserves it as well. He was really busy moving the snow. Could have done with you up in Buxton today, Lee.
Absolutely, but they've done a good job anyway. So really good work from the volunteers, lots of volunteers. I was told there was something like 8 inches of snow that fell during the week, and then they had more snow overnight. So they cleared the pitch yesterday and it was clear, and then it snowed again overnight. So they've really done well to get this going. And the hills are over on the far side of the ground, shrouded in mist and fog, as Macaulay almost fluffs his lines with a headed clearance, the goalkeeper, but he manages to get it away, and Reece Fleet picks up the loose ball in the centre of the field. And the shrouded in mist over on the hills and lots of snow up in the hills, but it is clearing here, and it doesn't actually feel all that cold. It is very windy and pouring with rain, but other than that, we are looking good. Chance here maybe for Buxton to break. I'm craning my neck around the corner. The dimensions of this press box, Andy, as you said, it's a comfortable press box, but it's as you say, there's a few obscured areas of the ground, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. It's not great.
So much I'm going to stand up. So
in fact, it was a throw for Oxford City. I didn't even see that, but there's it's a weird ground, isn't it? There's a bit of perforation on the windows, but it's not that. There's a big box in our way, so we can't really see the full picture. Which at the moment the Oxford City players can't either, because they're 1-0 down at the moment, and they just can't really get past that rear guard from Buxton yet. But they're doing a lot better.
Now there's a chance here for Brennan down the left side. He's getting in towards the penalty area. Aaron Drew goes in for a challenge and concedes the corner. And it's going to be corner number 3 for the home side. They lead by a goal to nil. The Tarmac Silverland Stadium, right in the centre of Buxton, in the High Peak district, as we've alluded to earlier, the highest ground in England. Here comes the corner then, and the 6-yard area packed with Oxford City shirts and just a couple of blue shirts. The referee spotted something in the 6-yard box, so he's just going to have a quiet word with Ben Salt, the goal scorer, and also with I think Andre Burley, just to make sure they keep their arms down. It's going to be an in-swinging corner from the far side. In it comes now, Salt in the middle, and headed away by Jalen Jones. It's going to be picked up though by Buxton again, midway inside the Oxford City half of the field. It's laid back to Josh Williams, the left back, or the left centre back rather, and he in turn goes all the way back to his goalkeeper True Grant, who's really looking for an option ahead of him, but instead he just plays it left again to Williams. Williams, a little ball in field, back to Williams again, out to the left touchline. City just closing their men down a little bit and not allowing Buxton to come forward, so it goes back to the goalkeeper again, who plays the ball out first time to Burton. Aaron Drew deals with that one quite well as Joseph Papula tries to burst away, but Drew was the better of him. Back with Drew again. He's gone back to the goalkeeper for City, Jonathan McCauley, who under a little bit of pressure has put it back to the right to Drew, but he's put Drew in a bit of trouble there because he was closed down quickly by 2 Buxton players, but Drew's done well to win the throw-in deep inside their own territory, and it will be Aaron Drew that will launch this ball up the line as the wind picks up again and the rain continues to hammer down. Josh Parker loses out in the air, but Ashby picks up the ball and finds McEachran on this near touchline. Back in field to Aaron Drew again, who goes back to his goalkeeper McCauley. McCauley plays a little 1-2 with Aaron Drew, in fact, and Drew finds McEachran. City aren't able to get out of their own third at the moment. Now they might do though, because a good ball from McEachran has found Burley, who surges over the halfway line, finds Jaden Carbon over on the right touchline. Carbon slips on this slippy surface, but he's come away with the ball well there, and back to Burley again. Burley into Reese Fleet, who finds Coyle. Now McEachran's got a little bit of space to run towards goal and lays the ball back out to Carbon on the right. Good looking ball, and Carbon has equalised. I think that was possibly more a cross than a shot, but who cares? It's gone into the net, maybe a little bit wind assisted, and Jaden Carbon has equalised for Oxford City. And I don't know what you thought there, Andy. I'm wondering whether he was sort of crossing to the back post or whether that was a genuine effort at goal, seeing the goalkeeper off of his line. It doesn't matter either way, because it's Buxton 1, Oxford City 1.
I don't know what you're on about, Kieran. He completely meant... No, I'm joking. I think that was a cross that he's absolutely shanked into the... I don't know, but whatever happened, it's completely outfoxed True Grant. Brilliant play from Carbon just before that to jink inside and out. He kept the ball under pressure, and then he's fired an effort. We'll ask him after the game if he meant it or not, but whatever happens, it's outfoxed Grant and it's flown into the net. And whether it was a cross or a shot, he's got exactly the right amount of power on that to be successful in either, and that's just what Oxford City needed to get back into this one. Great goal, whatever happened. Worth watching back on the highlights after the game.
I bet he'll say that he did mean it. I'm sure he will, but I think
if he did, goal of the month.
Absolutely. And to be fair, City, they have come more into this. You said this yourself. They were coming more into the game. They were keeping possession well, and arguably they might have. You might say they deserve to be level, because in the last 10 minutes or so, they've probably been the better side.
I have to agree. I think they've been very good. I think the one thing they've struggled with is marking down that back three, but they've stuck at it and they've used that one chance and they've scored. It's a fantastic goal, and I think they're deservedly back level.
Josh Ashby was down briefly, but he's back up on his feet, so no issues there. Ball forward from the goalkeeper, True Grant, headed away by Jalen Jones. City got a little bit of defending to do, but they're forcing Buxton back into their own half, where Williams picks up the loose ball and sprays the ball out to the left, and now there's an opportunity perhaps for the substitute Viggers, the new signing, to get the ball into the box. He's on the edge of the penalty area. He lays the ball square to Stobbs. Stobbs has got Lewis Coyle for company, and Coyle does well to prevent Stobbs from getting the ball into the penalty area, and it's a throw-in to the home side. Buxton 1, Oxford City 1. 33 and a half minutes on the clock at the Kassam. It's still Oxford United 1, Middlesbrough 0. That's on 95.2 FM, Freeview Channel 7. and on your DAB digital radios here on the BBC Sport website and app, and on BBC Sounds you're listening to National League North action, and Buxton 1, Oxford City 1. In comes the throw, a long throw, punched away by the goalkeeper, and then he punches it and then chases it and catches the ball. So that's a unique bit of goalkeeping, I'd say, but it's very effective because he punched it into his basically into his own sort of flight path, if you like. But Buxton back in possession again, and Aaron Drew has to just knock the ball out of play for another Buxton throw, and it's going to be Jack Stobbs who takes this one back to Kieran Burton, the ponytailed right back for the home side. Back with Williams out to the left side, but a little 1-2 back to Williams again. Buxton not currently able to get themselves forward, but it's back with the Buxton goalkeeper True clears the ball right footed up over the halfway line, looking for Stobbs, but a bit wayward, and McEachran picks up the loose ball and clears the danger. Josh Parker was offside there, so he didn't go after the ball because he knew that he would be flagged, and as a result it's gone all the way back through to the Buxton goalkeeper True Grant again. Rain still pouring down here at the Silverland Stadium. Grant drives the ball forward. Aaron Drew does battle, and Jalen Jones clears the ball away from the edge of the penalty area, but picked up by Papula. Beautiful crossfield pass finds Jack Stobbs on this near side touchline. Stobbs has got some space to run into now, but Jalen Jones clears that one, and Burton will head the ball up into the air, and then Josh Parker picks up the loose one and finds Ashby. Parker, this time he gives the ball away, does Parker, but so did Buxton, and Aaron Drew tidies up, and then down under a challenge goes Tom Scott, and it's a free kick to Oxford City. Ashby back to the goalkeeper Macaulay, who's in for Kai Mackenzie Lyle today, and as Andy alluded to, made a fantastic save on Tuesday. If you haven't seen it, it's worth looking at the Oxford City YouTube channel, because it was an absolute stunner of a save, I have to say. Yeah, it was, and the referee is just moving back Ravenhill there as it was given. Free kick was given to Oxford City. Scott's just kicked the ball against him, trying to take a short one. The referee just needs to get a hold of this game and those sorts of situations, because City want to play here, and they're going to have a few spells with the ball like they've had, but so are Buxton, and it's going to be teetering on the knife edge this game with two decent teams. Nice flick from Drew. Yeah, it's getting a little bit niggly, isn't it, if you like. But now there's a chance for Buxton to surge forward again, and it's over on the far side with Luke Brennan. Finds Stobbs. Stobbs has got Viggers on this right side for an outlet. Back to Stobbs again. Stobbs ball into the penalty area, but headed away by Jalen Jones. It's going to be recycled back to Stobbs again, though. A lot of the attacking prowess, if you like, from Buxton is coming down this right wing, isn't it? With Stobbs particularly getting those crosses into the penalty area. Yeah, both wings. But I have to say, I know it's the old Roy Keane phrase, but it's his job. But Jalen Jones is winning absolutely everything. Corners, anything that comes into that box, he's getting that first contact. He's heading it away. Helps being 6'6", of course, but he started really well. Yeah, it's fair to say that they missed him, didn't they, on Tuesday night? I would say. Middlesbrough equalised at the Castad. Middlesbrough 1, Oxford United 1. A penalty from Lath in that one, with about 6 minutes to go there in the Championship. Middlesbrough, one of the favourites to perhaps make a return to the Premier League. Oxford City maybe started the season as one of the favourites for the playoff places, but at the moment they are at the other end of the table and need to string some wins together. It's a difficult game as well. Buxton are flying in the National League North. They're a full-time outfit. They've got some extremely capable players. I mean, Burton, the centre half, was at Hartlepool United
last season. He's been full-time for a while now after impressive spells at this level. Kirby, who's played in the league with Macclesfield and Harrogate. You've got some really capable players. Then Buxton will be in the conversation come April. So if Oxford City didn't get anything today, it would be a massive positive.
It would, and it's 1-1 at the moment, and we're into the last 6 minutes of the first half here. There will be a bit of stoppage time as the ball splodges into one of the snowdrifts, the man-made snowdrifts over on the far side. I'm just thinking if anybody slides into a tackle and goes head first into it, Andy, that would be something to behold, because it's not that far off the pitch, these snow mounds that were brushed off earlier. Stobbs on this right side again, back to Burton. Burton plays the ball forward to Kirby, and then a little bit of a coming together between Kirby and Ashby. And I thought that Kirby was going to react there, but he didn't.
Well, you know what? Watch that. Watch it between Kirby and Ashby, because there's a little battle going on there. It has been through the first 5 minutes or so. So that, just keep an eye on that.
Yeah, because for a moment there, it looked as though Kirby was going to almost take a swing at Josh Ashby, wasn't it? And he thought better of it, and just as well, because the referee was pretty close. In fact, the referee has seen it, and I think he's going to have a word with them both. That's really good refereeing now. He's obviously spotted that. He's just saying, cut it out, calm it down, no yellow cards. And I know you don't like praising referees, Andy, but that was dealt with quite well there.
Yeah, it's a bit, I think it's a fair battle, to be honest. I think they're both going at it. They're both going at each other. The referee just having a little word with them, nothing too over the top. But if that happens again, I wouldn't book them. I'll just carry on with it. It's just it's getting into a bit of a niggly game, like you say. But both of them have every right to try and fight for every ball, and I think it's going to be it just makes the game even more interesting there. But I just want the referee to keep it flowing like he has been at the moment. There's no need to keep stopping and starting.
Tom Scott flies into a tackle and does really well, and then McEachran picks up the ball from Scott, back to Scott again, then Scott's heavy touch, unfortunately. Ashby goes down under a challenge, but nothing doing. Ashby's still on the deck, unfortunately, but McEachran finds the ball and finds Lewis Coyle. Coyle, ball into the penalty area, nearly finds Josh Parker, who just strained every neck muscle. I think another couple of inches taller, and Parker would have got his head to that and would have at least forced a save there. And instead it's sailed just over his head and out of play for a Buxton goal kick.
Yeah, City keep knocking at the door. Brilliant touch from Tom Scott, because that ball was behind him, and he's done well to just keep his left foot behind and just tap it in front of him, keep going. So unlucky there, because if Ashby hadn't fallen over, they'd probably created a better opportunity than they had. But it's a real positive end to this half for Oxford City, and I have to say, when you look at the balance of the first half, City have been the better team.
It's not a positive end to the first half, though, at the Kassam Stadium, because unfortunately Middlesbrough have turned it around, and it's now Oxford United 1, Middlesbrough 2. Azaz with the second goal for Middlesbrough. United led in that game through Greg Lee. That's on 95.2 FM, Freeview Channel 714, and on your DAB digital radios. They're going into the last minute at the Kassam Stadium in the first half. Here at the Silverland Stadium, still Buxton 1, Oxford City 1. And it's with Williams. Williams threads a little ball through, and Aaron Drew is going to just shepherd that back to his goalkeeper, using his strength there. He's a small man of small stature, is Aaron Drew, but he's very, very powerful and very strong, and he held off that challenge. I think McCauley's taken a bit of a whack there as well, so I think he's going to be okay, but good defending from Aaron Drew. McCauley clears the ball up towards Parker, but it doesn't get over the Buxton midfielder, and it allows the home side to come forward, but it's out of play over on the far side for another Oxford City throw in as we're heading into the last 2 minutes here in the Peak District. Interesting to see how much stoppage time there'll be, because as you mentioned, 2 lengthy bits of treatment to Ethan Mann, so probably a minute or two, I would say, probably 2 minutes. Aaron Drew cuts that one out, but back with Stobbs again. Stobbs back to Burton inside their own half of the field. Buxton finds Stobbs again. Little 1-2 with Burton, the right-sided centre half. Burton looking for an option in front of him, but he hasn't really got one at the moment, so he's going to have to go back to his goalkeeper again. And
really good pressing this from Oxford City. They've gone together. As soon as Parker's run, so is McEachran. He's won the ball back, maybe. Ooh, not quite.
And he's won a free kick though.
Brilliant play.
Really good play from Zach McEachran.
Yeah, just following on from that, Josh Parker pressed. Then McEachran followed him. It was a good, really good teamwork there. One trigger to one trigger, and they've managed to win the ball back and win a free kick in a really dangerous area.
This free kick is where Jaden Carbon scored from, so perhaps he'll have a shot from it.
He's staying well away from it at the moment, isn't he? But Jalen Jones in the opposite box, he's won everything that there has to be won. We joke, but it's not a shooting opportunity, is it? So if they can just land it on his head, there might just be a chance here.
Yeah, and it's going to be really tight on the far touch line, and there's the 6-yard or the 18-yard area is pretty packed, and it's going to be Lewis Coyle with this free kick, and it's going to be a left-footed free kick into the area, and it's a good-looking free kick, and the goalkeeper Grant had to punch it clear, and picked up by Carbon. Carbon though loses out, and now there's a real chance for Buxton on the counter-attack. That will be a yellow card at least, I think.
Oh wow!
What's going on here?
Well, what's happened is that McEachran is. I'm not quite sure what Jaden Carbon's doing, but he should have shot, and it's left Oxford City open. Buxton have broken, and they're in. And McEachran has just tried to swipe at him and bring him down, and he's missed. But he's got back up on his feet, and he's gone in again, and he's won the ball. The referee has given a free kick for the fair challenge that he's made, and he's booked McEachran. The Buxton players are not happy. They think it should be a red if it's a foul, but at that point there were Oxford City players that had just managed to get back and stopped it from being a goal-scoring opportunity. Very much like the Arsenal situation with William Saliba, but not quite as bad. I think the referee's got it wrong with the initial decision. I don't think that is a foul for McEachran. I think he won the ball back fairly just before he took him down. If he took him down on the first instance, it would have been a straight red card. There could be no doubt about it, but he didn't. And I think the referee's had a bit of a mare there. No one is happy after that situation.
2 minutes to add on at the end of the game. We're into that now. In fact, we're well into that. In fact, whatever the result of that, it was a pretty crucial interception, whether he made contact or not, because Buxton were clean through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and I think that's why the referee's given the yellow card. And as you say, Andy, if he thought that it was a foul, then there was nobody ahead of Zach McEachran, so it potentially could have been a red card, but it's a yellow. We're looking for a ball at the moment, so that's why we're not back underway. It's now 3-1 to Middlesbrough at the Kassam Stadium. A nightmare end to the first half, and Azaz has scored again. Oxford United 1, Middlesbrough 3. And that is really disappointing news from the Kassam Stadium. We'll head back there at the half-time whistle here. And we're back underway with Burton. Burton to the captain, Connor Kirby. Kirby chips the ball forward, and it's going to be headed up into the air by Aaron Drew. And it's going to be, as I crane my neck around the side, it's going to be a throw-in, I think. Was it it's a corner. It's a corner to Buxton as we head into the final seconds of stoppage time at the end of this first half, which has been a decent half, actually. And it's going to be an out-swinging corner. Here it comes to the back post. Jalen Jones again wins the aerial challenge, as you alluded to many times. Now there's a chance perhaps on this near side for Kirby to get the ball in, and City just looking to clear it any way that they can, and they just Aaron Drew just clears it up the field. That's the half-time whistle, and it's been an entertaining first half. It's 1-1 at the break, and Andy, I think 1-1 is probably about fair at the moment.
Yeah, I think this game is, if it wasn't interesting before, it's got even more interesting, because there's a little bit of tension now in the game. Both teams are starting to leave one on each other. There's a bit of that at the half. Still, Cian Coleman's just having a little word with the referee. Very interesting second half coming up.
That's it. I'll hand you back now to the Kassam Stadium. Oxford United 1, Middlesbrough 3. Back to Jerome and the team at the Castan.
Ball played through the lines and ball down both flanks, but United matched them well, and then opened the scoring course. Greg Lee, who was the man we thought was going to have a lot of defensive duties, he did a little bit later on, and it was tough for him, but he took the goal really well from the corner, headed back across by Elliot Moore, and United seemed to be matching Middlesbrough, but then it all went so so wrong. The penalty from up here, I think it was unfortunate for Elliot Moore, but it's a very, very wet, slippery pitch, and he couldn't stop sliding, and he did take the man down. So I can perhaps see why that goal was a given. The second goal, United, Middlesbrough at their best, edge of the penalty area, not closing the player down. He has a good shot from 20 yards, and Cumming, who made a couple of brilliant saves in this game, could do nothing about it. The third goal, all we can say is from up here, I suspect Jerome would be looking at replays and what have you. He looked at least a yard, 2 yards offside when the ball was played through to him. The flag stayed down, and really then, if that's the case, there's probably little the referee can do. He looks to his assistant, it wasn't given, and Middlesbrough, who were matched in every way by United, and perhaps United were definitely ahead on points when they were 1-0 up, suddenly we're cruising, and they will probably cruise in the second half. A lot of controversy, and I think cruel luck for United side that matched this very good Middlesbrough side until the penalty came along.
The penalty is critical. It changes the momentum of the game. It's a big call. Letter of the law, it's a penalty. I think you very, very rarely see them given like that. More critical perhaps going forward is that it means Elliot Moore is banned for Tuesday night's game. That's his 5th booking of the season, and you can't complain about it. It's facts.
No, it's the state of the pitch is obviously very wet. Kieran Brown was trailing in the player's wake, and he had to come across, but he just could not stop himself, could he? And from that moment, I waited, I think, with everybody certainly behind the goal there with bated breath, but the referee made the decision. The offside, well, from up here he looked very offside, but I think we'll have to wait on that one. But what's so cruel for United is because the way they matched Middlesbrough in every way and took the lead in the game, because as I said earlier, this is a very, very good Middlesbrough side, and the threat comes from everywhere, doesn't it? They play the ball through the lines well. We see Jamie Cumming have to cough his line a couple of times to win it. They've knocked the ball over the top well, and down either flank, they're dangerous. They're a good side.
United have played well, but they trail 3-1.
Your team, always live with our team.
Bedlam at the Kassam Stadium, and Oxford United dance with delight.
Bringing Oxford United fans together.
History to be made.
Such a joyous season for Oxford United.
BBC Radio Oxford Sport, the official broadcast partner of Oxford United.
333, start your text with the word Oxford on WhatsApp 08000 321 333 with Oxford at the top of your message. On X, we're at BBC Oxford Sport. If you're in the ground and you had a good view of some of the key incidents in the game, do get in touch with your thoughts. If you're watching the game and got the privilege of the replays that we don't. Likewise, quite a game so far. Oxford took the lead but trail at half-time. Here are the key moments.
And now Goodrum delivers it. It's deep. This is Ismail at the far post. Knocks it back in. Gregley's there, and Gregley scores! Oxford United take the lead. Great work all round. Goodrum's corner. Moore's knocked back. And Lee, alert, decisive, goal scorer. Oxford United 1, Middlesbrough 0.
He's going forward for Middlesbrough. Rapidly into the penalty area, and then a heavy old challenge on him. And the referee's given a penalty. And it's an unnecessary foul by Elliot Moore because Doe could run it out of play. But Moore couldn't stop his momentum on these slippery conditions. And he collides with the Borough player who for the moment has stayed down. The referee thought about it. And then he pointed to the spot. Latte Lat is going to take the penalty for Middlesbrough at the east stand end of this ground. Right-footed, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Sets the scores level, 1-1 at the Kassam Stadium. Now left edge of the box, trying to set himself up, I think, or maybe get a return ball in. That is a great goal from Azaz from the edge of the penalty area. Oxford United done on the break, and now Middlesbrough fans celebrate at one end, their team celebrate at the other. Very, very close, and unnecessarily so to the Oxford United supporters. Middlesbrough have turned this round and lead 2-1. Brannigan slides into a challenge and then collides with Vaux, and now into the penalty area, and the flag stays down, and Latte has put the ball into the net, and everyone in the ground is looking at the assistant referee, who I think had no view. He was going backwards and forwards because the game has gone from one extreme to the other. He hasn't got a clue, so he can't put his flag up. Whether it was offside or not, who knows, but the goal is given. 3-1 Middlesbrough. And he timed his run. We've seen the replays now. He timed his run, and it was a legitimate goal for all the stick that's been given. And the penalty, we said at the time, it's often not given, but again, it is letter of the law, is difficult to complain about. I would say look at some of the things you didn't hear there, like the Mark Harris chance that didn't go in. It's a big turning point in the game as well. Both keepers have made saves. Still think there's a lot of action to come in the second half, and we will get to it shortly. It's been a to and fro game at Buxton against Oxford City in National League North as well.
There's a chance here. Jalen Jones beaten by Ben Salt, and he'll come forward inside the box, cuts onto his right foot. He has options here, and it's 1-0. It's a steady finish from Ben Salt, and it looked rather too easy as he intercepted the ball, cut into his right foot, and sent a shot beyond Macaulay inside the Oxford City goal. And with 9 minutes on the clock, Oxford City go behind on the road to Buxton.
Now McEachran's got a little bit of space to run towards goal and lays the ball back out to Carbon on the right. Good looking ball, and Carbon has equalised. I think that was possibly more a cross than a shot, but who cares? It's gone into the net, maybe a little bit wind assisted, and Jaden Carbon has equalised for Oxford City.
So let's get you up to date with what's happened in detail then from that game. Kieran Bushnell.
Yeah, Buxton 1, Oxford City 1. The goal from Ben Salt in the 8th minute being cancelled out by Jaden Carbon. We're pretty sure that it was a cross that was wind assisted. We don't think it was a deliberate shot. I'm sure we'll find out later on, but it was from the right hand side. McEachran found him on the right touchline. He just cut in and looked to aim across to the back post, and it sailed over True Grant's head into the corner of the net to give Oxford City a deserved equaliser. To be fair, it's been an even sort of game end to end. There was a big talking point right in the dying seconds. Zach McEachran was penalised for a foul on Ben Salt, and it was looked as though Ben Salt was the last man, but the referee decided it was a yellow card. We're not altogether sure that there was actually much contact at all, but McEachran perhaps a little bit lucky to still be on the field. And the half-time score here at the Silverland Stadium is Buxton 1, Oxford City 1.
In the Southern League, Banbury United 2 down at Harborough, Tame United 2 up in a derby game against Aylesbury United. Here's what's happening elsewhere in national football then, and we'll get to the scores from the Premier League and the EFL shortly. Having had a look at a couple of the replays, Nathan, it looks like the big calls were got correctly by the assistants. You had another look at the replays.
Yeah, I've checked some of the TV guys. You've gone back to studios and directors and all sorts, and the consensus is the third goal is onside. The penalty seems to be little doubt. There's a bit more about the third, but from what I'm hearing, the agreement pretty much is unanimous that he was onside, Jerome.
So the Middlesbrough fans who are listening in on their dodgy sticks, you were proved correctly. Thank you very much for your involvement. Reece saying he's onside. This one says, I don't know why everyone's moaning. This is Pete who says it's a clear penalty, clearly onside. Harris fails to score, one on one bracket shock. We had to go 2-1 up, and then 5 minutes later, instead, we are 3-1 down. Shocking end to the half, only ourselves to blame. 81333. Start your text with the word Oxford. Andy sees it a different way, without being unnecessarily biased. That is absolutely appalling refereeing. Effectively, the game is now over. Thanks for that, ref. And on WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Richard says never a penalty. Strong challenge doesn't automatically make it a foul. So that debate will continue as well. As promised, let's take you to the Premier League then and tell you that earlier on Leicester 1, Chelsea 2 was a result. Let's update you on some of the 3 o'clock kickoffs then. There's been a goal in the Arsenal Forest game. Here's Ian Dennis.
Jorginho to Saka on the right hand side of the penalty box, finds Erdegaard once again, nicks a delightful ball but is through towards Saka, running across goal and getting the shot away. Super finish by Bukayo Saka. He kept running, He waited for the opening and then left-footed fired the ball past Sells. Ødegaard found him. That's the creativity that they've been missing with Ødegaard's recent absence. But a thunderous finish from Saka. Arsenal 1-0.
Bournemouth 0, Brighton 1 is a half time. It's Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 2, Everton 0, Brentford 0, Fulham 1, Wolves 1, Man City against Spurs to come a little bit later on. Championship results from earlier: Bristol City 0, Burnley 1, Coventry 2, Sheffield United 2. Coventry with an equaliser 10 minutes from time against a Sheffield United side that played the second half with 10 men. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff 1. Also a result: Blackburn against Portsmouth was postponed. Luton against Hull. Luton leading 1-0 at half-time. Sunderland 1 up at Millwall at the break. Preston 1, Derby 1 at half-time. Stoke leading at QPR 1-0 at half-time. And it's half-time at the Hawthorns, where it's West Brom 2, Norwich 2. League 1 result: Bolton 2, Blackpool 1. Nick will tell you that's a repeat of the 53 Cup final, but not the scoreline. Shrewsbury have beaten an out-of-form Birmingham 3-2 this afternoon. Stevenage 0, Leyton Orient 0, also a result. Half-times: Barnsley 0, Wigan 1, Burton 0, Stockport 2, Crawley 1, Rotherham 0, Huddersfield 1, Charlton 1, Lincoln 1, Wickham 2, Mansfield 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Northampton 0, Cambridge 0. Reading 2-0 up at Peterborough at half-time. Wrexham 2-0 up against Exeter at the Racecourse Ground at the break. Results from League 2's early games: Grimsby 0, Colchester 1. Colchester have really been struggling towards the foot of the table, and Notts County 0-0 at Notts County, 0-0 with Newport County at half-time. Full-time, I should say. That is a full-time. This is a half-time. Wimbledon 0, Walsall 0, Carlisle 0, Doncaster 0, Chesterfield 0, Barrow 0, Gillingham 0, Harrogate 0. Swindon have got a goal back against Morecambe. It's 2-1 to Morecambe at half-time at the County Ground. The game at Fleetwood off. The game at Bradford also off this afternoon. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. This is BBC Radio Oxford Sport. It is 4:01. The rain is swirling around the Castad here this afternoon, Nick, and the second half here you feel will be very difficult for Oxford United, because Middlesbrough got so much championship know-how as well as the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, they're a good side, and as we said earlier, that they know how to play the game. They'll know how to play the game when they're 3-1 up, and it's going to be a tough old second half for United and their fans. They've got to get behind them, as I'm sure they will, and it's a difficult game for United. Do you really want to chase the game too hard and perhaps concede more goals? Middlesbrough have been scoring goals from fun in recent weeks, so that's a difficult decision. Or do you shore it up a little bit and wait to go to Sheffield United on Tuesday? It's a hard decision for the manager to make, and substitutions he will have to make. Will he start thinking about Tuesday night a little bit more halfway through this half, thinking, right, let's get this one over with and think about it's not gonna. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be an easy watch this second half, but I think it's going to be a tough watch for Oxford United and their fans, because Middlesbrough will know exactly what to do.
So we've got the second half of Oxford United against Middlesbrough coming up here on BBC Radio Oxford, 95.2 FM, digital radio, Freeview channel 714, OUTV, and your dodgy stick. For the Middlesbrough fans who've kindly joined us, you have got Oxford City at Buxton coming up your way on BBC Sounds. Make your choice now. The second half live next.
Every kick, tackle and goal.
And Parker cuts inside. Parker's in here. And City have made it 4-0.
All the action is just moments away.
And it's been taken. All the goals running in.
Banbury United, champions of the Southern League, Premier Division Central.
And we are underway.
This is BBC Radio Oxford Sport.
Monday evenings with Rena Annabelle.
Before you met her, did you have that fear as well, the fear of rejection?
I did. For a very long time, I had the fear that I won't get married, I won't find true love.
I was that one that went to Punjabi school on a Wednesday and a Saturday, and the reason I used to love going wasn't to learn Punjabi. I used to love the chips and beans that I used to get after Punjabi clubs.
You went for the right reason. Join me every Monday evening from 7, where I'll be bringing you the best of South Asian music, celebrating South Asian arts and culture and shining a light on the game changers in our local communities.
Rena Annabelle.
Monday night from 7 on BBC Radio Oxford.
And welcome back to the Silverlands Stadium in the Peak District. Buxton 1, Oxford City 1 is the half-time score in the National League North. A decent first half of football. City equalising after a goal early on from Ben Salt, and the equaliser coming courtesy of Jaden Carr. But I think the general consensus around us now, Andy, is it wasn't a shot, it was probably a cross. But it doesn't really matter, does it? It's 1-1 and all to play for in this second half.
Yeah, I can't really add anything to that, Kieran, as the Buxton and Oxford City players re-emerge from the tunnel I'm quite excited for this second half, actually, after that little challenge from McEachran. As tension started to boil over, but whatever happened, it went in from Jaden Carbon, and it just gave Oxford City that platform to get back onto level terms and almost reset. And we've almost got a game within a game now, in my opinion, because there's 45 minutes in the first half that have been quite... what's the word I'm looking for? It's been quite fiery at times.
Feisty.
Feisty, fiery, whatever, but it's also been a little bit conservative. Both teams are, we can see what the game plan is for Buxton. They're trying to get it into the channels and down the channels as much and as quickly as possible. However, after that McEachran yellow card right in the end, I wonder if we're going to have to keep an eye on that Ashby versus Kirby battle in the middle of the park, and there's going to be a little bit of a feistier second half.
Well, one thing I can tell you, it is still absolutely pouring with rain here at the Silverland Stadium. The snow mounds around the pitch are starting to shrink because the temperature has picked up, although it doesn't feel like it with the wind, but the temperature's picked up. The air temperature and the football match temperature has picked up, I think, after that first half, and we're just about to get underway in the second half. Oxford City in their all-lime, fluorescent lime kit, attacking the goal away to our right, where most of the Buxton supporters are congregated, and you just heard the whistle there. We've just kicked off in the second half. I'll hand you over to Andy.
Yeah, no changes for either team at the break. We've still got that only one change of the game so far, which was a Buxton change, as Ethan Mann was replaced by Ryan Viggers, who's on for his Buxton debut. They're shooting from right to left as we see it from the press box. Oxford City in their neon green away kit, shooting the other way towards the terrace of home fans, full of Buxton supporters here. Just trying to see some Oxford City fans in the crowd somewhere. They'll definitely be under shelter, I'll put it that way.
There's a couple of brave souls, Andy, to our left that aren't under shelter over there in the open end.
Well, brave is the word that you use. I can think of a few more that I can think of as McEachran tries to steal a few yards on a Oxford City free kick just inside the Buxton area. It's taken short. The referee's got in the way of Tom Scott there, but he still manages to pick out Ashby, but the ball is won back, and now Buxton have another opportunity for a kick down the left here with Brennan, who was the man that was upended in that McEachran foul. And back to Burton, who, as a commentator, I like players like Kieran Burton, really easy to identify with his blonde dreadlocks. So that is really helpful whenever someone has a hairstyle like that or something about them. I can identify them. But his pass goes straight out for a Oxford City throw-in over on the far side, which Aaron Drew will take. He's the left-sided centre-half for Oxford City in the back three, alongside Jalen Jones, and there's been another goal at Oxford United. It's 4-1 Middlesbrough now, and it's a hat-trick for Emmanuel Lati-Lath. Great performance from him, but not a good day at the Kassam Stadium, which started off so promisingly. Here, though, National League North action. 2 minutes into the second half, as Jack Stobbs has to trunch into the snow. I don't even know if that's a word, trunch. Step into the snow and recover the ball. I imagine that's what it sounded like. Anyway, the ball comes back to Andre Burley, who's under pressure here, but does well to... Oh no, maybe not. Kirby sends a shot towards goal, and I wasn't sure whether that was going to outfox Macaulay. The one player that didn't think that was on target, and a speculative effort from about 35 yards out, was Macaulay, who stood still and didn't look like it was going to find its way into the back of the net. As we get going again.
Yeah, it was a long-range speculative effort, spotting Macaulay off of his line, but as you say, Andy, Macaulay seemed fairly comfortable. That was not going to be troubling him at all. He just watched it sail harmlessly past his right-hand post.
Here's Jones now, who just lets the ball bounce and heads it towards the goalkeeper. Macaulay, he'll roll the ball out. Drew to Drew. He's under pressure here, Drew, but staves off the pressure. Macaulay, it's not a confident clearance, and it is picked up on by Buxton. And he'll keep coming forward now until Kirby just opts to play it safe. Back to the Buxton defenders. Over to Drew in the corner. And that's going to be a goal kick. I wasn't sure whether that was going to be a corner or a goal kick there. Luckily it bounces out for a goal kick, but City just playing on the edge here. Buxton are willing to press and press and press. But at the moment, Oxford City are just keeping their heads above water here.
Yes, a totally different start to the second half that we had in the first half, isn't it? Really sort of nondescript at the moment, almost as if we're sort of players are still in the changing room at the minute. It's been a slow start, let's say.
Yeah, well, I thought they'd be coming out with fire in their bellies, but at the moment it's been quite tame. But Coyle will just help the ball on, but Parker will chase after. Drops into the path of Scott, misses it, but Ashby just plays the ball forward. 2 players underneath it now. Headed back, but luckily for Buxton, they managed to get the ball away as Josh Parker closed down the option to head it back to the goalkeeper. Still going, and this time it's Tom Scott's opportunity to send a speculative effort towards goal. Again, not troubling the goalkeeper, and it flies wide of the mark. But both teams are willing to be having a go here, but nothing of real quality just yet. Still, Buxton 1, Oxford City 1, here in Derbyshire. That might change now, because here come Buxton down the left. Burley will retreat to try and defend against Ben Salt, the scorer of the opening goal. Referee sees a foul in there. Free kick to the hosts, who will have an option to float across into the box maybe here. 5 minutes into the second half. Well, City have to be at the best here. They just simply have to. It's just taking a little bit of time. It's going to be a one-man wall here for Oxford City. McEachran is the one standing over it. Floated, crossing the box. It beats everyone, and somehow doesn't find it into the back of the net. I think Macaulay just had to stay where he was. He was in a decent position. I was expecting the net to bulge there. I thought the free kick was about to just nestle into the side netting, but it just got stuck beneath someone's feet and bounced into the hands, a grateful grasp rather, of Jonathan Macaulay, the Oxford City goalkeeper, who has made another save. Tom Scott goes down, and it's a free kick here. The referee gave that rather late, but there's going to be a bit of a talking to Kieran Burton here. It's just going to be let off with one.
Well, that free kick there into the box, I don't think Jonathan Macaulay necessarily knew an awful lot about it. He always just dropped on the ball, didn't he? It's sort of a bit of a scramble pretty much on the goal line, and Macaulay just dropped to his knees and dropped to his chest and just fell on the ball effectively and kept it out. And now there's a chance at the other end for Oxford City perhaps to make that count and potentially get an opportunity in themselves.
Yeah, well, they have a free kick here. 2 arms in the air for Ashby. Floated in towards the box. It's just about cleared, only to the edge of the area. McEachran takes one swipe at it, then a second, but gets contact with the ball with the second. Finds Fleet, who's drifted over to the right. It's not a bad ball. Parker, I think he's fouled his man. Clear push in the back there. Referee has seen that and gives it to Buxton.
I think we all saw that one, Andy, didn't we? That was a pretty blatant shove from Josh Parker.
Yeah, exactly that. Pretty blatant. I don't think there can be any can't be any complaints about that. Ashby's free kick just looked rather tame for a second, but it was actually a really good delivery that almost outfoxed everyone. Carbon's pass stabbed out, and that's a decent header. And now Viggers is in, but Viggers just delayed his shot slightly. I don't think he knew whether he was going to shoot from a tight angle or wait for an option to pass. And that little hesitation in his decision making made sure that Jalen Jones, the Oxford City defender, could retreat and get a impressive but vital touch on that ball to send it out for a Buxton throw-in. That's been taken now, and they'll dart down to the edge of the area, and just the ball sneaks out for a throw-in rather than in a corner, right by the side of the flag though. Buxton players just jostling for a little bit of space, and eventually Carbon shields the ball out for a goal kick. Again, tense, a little bit nervy, a little bit conservative. The only two real chances of this second half has been a long-range effort from Kirby that just flew wide of the mark, and a Tom Scott sort of half chance really, that a volley that flew wide. Can't blame any of them for taking the shot on, but no goalkeepers tested so far apart from Macaulay from the save he made just moments ago. McEachran played off the ball. The referee again takes his time in making that decision, but gives it in Oxford City's favour. The referee's just going to stop the game and stop this free kick from being taken, because he's going to have a word with the Buxton's Kirby. City want to get underway, but the referee has quite clearly said that he just wants to have a word with Kirby, the Buxton captain. Pardon me. In the meantime, City try and steal a few yards, but Poola's just nowhere near 10 yards away from the free kick, so Ashby will have to play back to Fleet. I'm not quite sure why the referees allowed that to be taken, and City play it out of play for a Buxton throw-in. I'm not quite sure why the referees allowed that. Anyway, play continues. The ball is fizzed over to the left-hand side. It's won by a Buxton shirt. Again, it's Ben Salt who tries to wiggle his way through. Can't though. Kirby. No look pass to Burton. Kirby again. Back to Burton. Inside the Buxton half. He's the only player that was there. Now he's been joined by a few more. Decent ball now to Brennan. Back towards goal. And he loses out to Fleet, who goes down. I think he's been fouled there. Again, the referee agrees. And again, Kirby goes flying into Scott. Scott just has a word with Conor Kirby, and one Buxton fan, you may be able to hear it, isn't very happy with that decision of a foul.
He hasn't been very happy all afternoon, Andy.
No, I think I know the weather's not great, but I don't think there can be any arguments about that. I mean, you talk about partisan. He's very partisan, isn't he? I'm sorry if you heard any coarse language there. Oh, here we go. 10 minutes gone in this second half. Still drawing 1-1 away at Buxton. Carbon lets the ball float over his head. Does really well. Oh, it's offside. Did really well there, Carbon, to let the ball fly over his head and knock the ball onto the marker and out for what would have been a corner. Unfortunately, he's just not quite timed his run to perfection there, and it goes out for it's a free kick to the hosts, who've taken it. And Grant will take his time over hitting this. He tries to fire it into the right channel. Coyle wins the header. Ashby's underneath it. That's a push in the back. Nothing given though. And here Buxton will continue. Again, it's a poor ball though from Buxton. Parker's underneath it. Invites Burley to play forward, and he does. Finds Scott, and that's a better ball from Scott. Carbon will use his pace. The Oxford City goal scorer turns one way and then the other. He's left Burton for a second though. He's right on in Burton. He flies in, wins the ball, and then kicks him whilst he's down there. Burton leaves one on Jaden Carbon, who left him for dead just a few moments ago. There's a few frustrations here. Josh Parker is looking at the referee, who's then looking at the linesman. Neither really know what's going on there, but the linesman was right in front of it. I think that's what Josh Parker's just saying to him right now. When he's on the floor, he's just left one on him. Josh Ashby's reiterating the point now. Probably a sign that Kieran Burton is not getting his way with Jayden Carbon, who's been really impressive so far today. And he'll take a swipe at goal again, and he's offside again. Maybe not just checking his line. He would have won a corner again there, Carbon. But again, that little feistiness is coming back into this game, and as the rain continues to pour in Derbyshire here, and the temperature continues to dip even more, floodlights on full beam, we're in a decent last 30 minutes or so as we approach the half-hour mark. Buxton can't get going. Oxford City have been really good in this second half. They're stopping all the channels to play forward. Buxton seem like the only thing they're trying to do is play down the channel, but Oxford City have cottoned onto that fact. Throw in just ahead of the halfway line, right in front of the Buxton dugout to our right. Andre Burley will take it straight into Scott, touches it back to Burley, into Fleet, just looking for an option. Fleet, brilliant pass to Drew, takes a couple of touches, then tries to find McEachran, who just couldn't quite get past his man. Now Ravenhill brings it forward. Popola on the right, counter-attack on here for Buxton, darts towards the byline, cuts back, invites Coyle to take a stab at it, wins the challenge, Coyle, and then that is going to be a corner ball. So a corner to Buxton in the 60th minute. I thought Coyle had no one was really appealing from an Oxford City perspective, but I thought Coyle had a few arguments that he should have had a free kick there after he got ahead of Popola. He was being hugged and pulled back, nothing given. So it's going to be a set piece for the hosts. This time they're going to opt to attack it from inside the area rather than the crowded 6-yard box, which we've seen a little bit of. Macaulay is just waiting there inside the area. Getting the impression he might be called into action soon. Referee just waiting for Drew to tie his laces, or finish tying his laces. He's back up and getting into position now. Just waiting for the referee's whistle. We do get it, but it's not to start play, it's to stop play, to just halt it even further and have a word with the players inside the 6-yard box, in Ben Salt and Andre Burley.
Yeah, Ben Salt was impeding Burley before the ball came in there, so he had to stop that.
Still is. He still is. Corner, taken short, cross in towards goal, headed out by Ashby. Underneath it is Brennan. Takes a touch, fires it all the way back to True Grant. City will just creep up the pitch and try and gain as much ground as possible. Ball over to Burton. Over his man, but Burley hooks it away. Parker's underneath it. They're both at it, both Parker and his marker. Scott flicks a pass behind him, but there's no green shirt running onto it. And Coleman takes the ball forward. Popola, heavy touch. Then to Carbon, another touch again, but Popola brings it out for a throw-in, which is taken quickly. McEachran with his back towards goal, but he manoeuvres his body to play forward. Pass cut out again. He's not really been as influential as he usually is, McEachran. He's been stifled in this game. Scott, again City win the ball back. But again, they just need to create that opportunity to match the balance of the game, because they're on top here. Jones switches the plays. A good pass as well. Drew. Ahead of him is McEachran. First time pass to Ashby. To Fleet. Back to McEachran. The holy trinity, if you like, for Oxford City. Those three midfielders. Been at the club between them for 1,000 games probably. And they're the backbone of the success that's been built here at Oxford City in the past. Fortunately, last season, the three didn't quite get as many minutes as they were wanted on the pitch together. They were all injured at the same time that the other two were playing there or thereabouts. Again, Drew's just going to tie his lace. I'm not sure whether he's put a new pair of boots on or what at half time. Burley's throw-in, headed straight back out by Burton. Burley put the ball in his hands again and will get ready to probably propel another throw-in up the line. Coyle's chest. Hooked away by Josh Williams all the way to the left-hand channel. And it will blow the ball into the feet of Jonathan Macaulay, who's outside his goal. Finds Drew, but Drew's pass is intercepted, and now Macaulay's off his line, and now there's a chance for Buxton, but the shot drifts wide. let off there for Oxford City. Drew couldn't quite get the ball out of his feet, and Macaulay was left in no man's land. There were recovering defenders in Burley and Jones, who were probably in a good position to hook it off the line, to be fair, but again, another chance that they can't really afford to be giving out cheaply like that. Still, Buxton 1, Oxford City 1, 63 on the clock, and we're going to get a change here for Buxton. Coming on will be Will Truman, and he'll replace, I'm just going to see, can't see who's coming off.
I think it's Kean Cole coming off the 18, I think.
You could be right. Unfortunately, the press box isn't in a good place to see the board. You're absolutely right, though, Kieran. It's Kean Coleman that is off. Will Truman comes onto the pitch.
These new glasses are working quite well, aren't they?
Parker again battles for the ball, as does Viggers. Free kick given in Buxton's favour now. Free kick just inside the area. McEachran's just reiterating to Kirby it goes back. It does. Kirby puts the ball on the spot and plays it to Ravenhill. Again back to Grant. I think we know where this ball's going to go. Out of his feet into the channel. Header won by Carbon. Underneath it now is McEachran. He makes an arch for his man. And again, this time City play a ball into the channel, but it's well collected by Josh Williams, the Buxton number 3, who twists and turns and finds Ravenhill. Centre half. He gets his head up. He blasts it into the other channel. Won again by Burley. Scott underneath it. He gets it to Burton. I wonder where this is going to go from Burton. In fact, it doesn't go into the channel. It finds Ravenhill. Back to Grant. Now Buxton having a bit of a spell. That invites Coyle to run into Burton. City win the throw in, but Burton again is living life on the edge because he's lashing out at his man. He lashed out at Coyle there. I think there was a bit of both on that, to be honest, but he's got to be careful, Burton. He's getting well in the thick of it here. Ashby heads the ball into the path of McEachran. He just moves past his man to try and make space for Parker, but eventually Buxton find Grant. Grant out of his feet, looking for Popola, clearly the instruction, and City will play it back to Macaulay. Macaulay out of his feet. Parker's still not coming back from his offside position. Good feet there from Salt, the goal scorer. Couldn't find his man. McEachran got 1, 2, 3 players around him, but wiggles away from all 3 and is then brought down by the Buxton debutant Viggers. No real chances yet, despite the play we're getting.
No, all the half chances have all come from distance, haven't they, Andy? And nothing really. I guess you could say it was a chance from the free kick that Macaulay sort of fell onto, but it was a bit of a half chance, really. It's been a strange second half so far, hasn't it? Really, neither side really getting that sort of finishing sort of touch in the final third at the minute. Lots of neat passing around the centre of the park, but nothing in the final third at the moment.
Well, they've played it out really well there, Oxford City, and they'll come forward with Burley. He'll just bring the ball over the halfway line here and try and thread through Parker. The ball isn't really good enough from Burley, and will go through to Grant instead. And I'm all one for football cliches, Kieran, but I think the phrase difficult conditions will be flying around today because the rain has got even worse, and you can just see under the floodlights the rain just moving around in this cold afternoon in Derbyshire, where it's still 1-1. Burton, ball over, but it's a little bit aimless from the Buxton's Burton, and goes through to Macaulay. He'll bounce the ball and get ready to hit it long. He's only got a couple of options here. Ball out of his feet, and it's just all the way over all the green shirts and into the hands of True Grant, the other goalkeeper.
Is that a shot?
Well, if it is, then it's probably one of the only ones we've had so far in the second half, because it has been quite entertaining to watch, but it's been more of a fascinating encounter more than anything, rather than full of chances. It's been like one, I think, where Macaulay's had to make a save, but we didn't really know too much about. Buxton, though, keep creeping up the field. Burton keeps getting the ball in areas further and further up the field. He's got the ball on the halfway line here, but he's played out and back to the Buxton defence. He's Going to get it back though on this left-hand side. The ball is a little bit wayward, but he rescues it. And now they'll come down the right channel again, but it goes out for a throw-in. Now's a good chance to swap over to you, Kieran, to take us through to full-time. Hopefully, you will be able to give us some goals.
I'll do my very best for you. This is BBC Radio Oxford on BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website and app. Oxford City level 1-1 here in the High Peaks. Buxton 1, Oxford City 1. At the Kassam, it's Oxford United 1, Middlesbrough 4, and that's on 95.2 if you could dare to listen to that, really, because it's not been a good afternoon for Oxford United at the Kassam Stadium. They trail Middlesbrough by 4 goals to 1 here at the Silverland Stadium. It's still 1-1, and no real chances of note so far. We're 23 or so minutes to go in the game, but still plenty of time for either of these sides to create an opening, and perhaps there is an opportunity now as Burton puts the ball forward looking for the on-running Ben Salt, and the referee has given a goal kick, and the supporter away to our right doesn't agree with that one either. I think that probably was a goal kick, to be honest. He's not endearing himself to the home supporters at the moment, but he hasn't made any howling errors, with the possible exception of the free kick at the end of the first half against Zach McEachran.
The only thing that's howling is the wind. He's not really gaining any fans here, though. Just he's got to stay confident, the ref, because he can't buckle under pressure. Can't buckle under the pressure because the Buxton players are just in his ear all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, the howling wind and a long ball into the night sky swirling around. And now McEachran's on. McEachran's through, and he's got a chance here. Has a crack from just outside the box, bit to a wide angle, and saved there by the goalkeeper, True Grant. Comfortable save, really. McEachran, first time effort, but it was easily dealt with by True Grant, who lays the ball straight back out to Burton again, but he's closed down really well by Tom Scott, and it's a throw into Buxton. Oxford United have pulled a goal back at the Kassam Stadium. Dane Scarlett, 72 minutes gone there. Oxford United 2, Middlesbrough 4. Well, can there be a great comeback and a great escape in that game? It would be incredible if they have, and 6 goals already. Here at the Silverlands, it's 1-1. Buxton 1, Oxford City 1. Free kick that was to Buxton, taken quickly by Burton, and Buxton looking to try and set up an attack of their own, but they're in their own half at the moment and not really able to get out of their half. They're just playing the ball around in their third, and then the ball played forward up over the halfway line, but pinged off of Aaron Drew's head there and out of play into the snowdrift for a throw-in to the home side, just inside their own half of the field. Back underway again. City, of course, have another tough trip on Tuesday. A long trek on a Tuesday night up to Chester. Half the ground's in Wales, Andy, half the ground's in England, so take your passport with you for that one.
You have to show it to the stewards when you're crossing the gate of the tunnel.
I remember during COVID times, of course, there was that issue, wasn't there, where half the ground was in Wales, where there was tighter COVID restrictions than in England, and it was very, very strange times. Anyway, we digress, because we're looking for a winning goal here. Jalen Jones threads the ball through to Scott. Scott finds Andre Byrne, who's got a little bit of space to run into, and he's got Jaden Carbon on this right touchline. Bit of a heavy pass from Carbon, and Scott goes down under a challenge. Nothing given by the referee, but now it's one back, and Carbon again has the ball. He's got a couple of Buxton players around him though, and as a result he loses out, and Buxton pick up the loose ball deep inside their own half with Burton. Back to the goalkeeper, True Grant. But City just penning Buxton in at the moment into their half, and now there's a chance perhaps for McEachran to get into the box, and it's still in, is it, or has it gone out of play? It's gone out of play. I thought it had gone out. I was just craning my neck round the corner.
Well, that's unlucky, because McEachran has done so well there. So well, just keep at his man. Again, I've been impressed by City's pressing. Out of nowhere, started the run. That triggered Parker, which triggered McEachran, and they've ended up winning the ball back there. Really good stuff. it's a really battling display here.
It is.
It's almost like I think City overall have been the better team in terms of what they've done, dealt with everything so far. Still 18 minutes left in this game. Don't really feel like that.
No, it doesn't. And I'll tell you what, my overriding sort of feeling of this season so far, and we've heard it said quite a lot as well. The Southport manager a few weeks ago said that he felt that Oxford City were in a false position, which, you know, at the end of the day, it's the league. The league table is the league table. They are fifth from bottom, but certainly Jim Bentley at Southport was very impressed with Oxford City, and they seem to be playing really well against all these sides in and around the playoffs. They obviously beat Hereford 2-0, didn't they, and held Southport to a draw, and were really unlucky against Kings Lynn, but for those 3 mistakes basically in a game that they dominated. Still, they lost the game 3-1 or whatever, but dominated. But now there's a chance for Buxton to perhaps get an opportunity into the penalty area, but that's a really weak cross from Luke Brennan straight into the midriff of the goalkeeper, Jonathan McCauley. But it's a moot point, isn't it, Andy? Because City are fifth from bottom, but they're playing good football, and you get the feeling that at some stage they're going to get themselves on a bit of a run, because they've got some good players at this time, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's the league table. You look at it after they went on a really good run of form, unbeaten, and then you look at the table and you go, well, we're in pretty much the same place. It's remarkable, because everyone's beaten everyone in the league. But I think you're right. I think the most important opinion, we'll break, because that's what Buxton are doing.
Yeah, now we've got a chance here. Shot from distance, good save. It's going to be a chance here, and it's going to be a goal to Buxton. And it's Ryan Viggers on his debut. The goalkeeper McCauley saved well from the first effort, but Ryan Viggers on the rebound, followed up, and he smashed it into the net. And with 15 and a half minutes to go, it's Buxton 2, Oxford City 1.
Yeah, McCauley just couldn't quite keep the ball in his hands and parried it out, but to the one player that was alive to the danger, City just didn't. I think the ball was about to go out, and instead of making sure it did, they just kept the let play continue, and Buxton had punished them. It's a sucker punch. It hurts, but they've got to go again, Oxford City, and they've got to start creating some chances here, as they're going to make another change here, Buxton. But yeah, desperately unlucky, and Viggers will score the easiest goal he'll score, well, probably in his whole career.
The next substitution is going to be Ethan Fitzhugh coming on for Luke Brennan for Buxton, who lead now by 2-1, and that was slightly against the run of play, I have to say. City have been more than holding their own, but a good save from McCauley to deny Kirby's first effort, but the ball just rebounded straight out to the debutant Ryan Viggers, and with an empty net at his mercy, he wasn't going to miss. And there's 15 minutes to go, and City have got to come back from behind again. McCauley gets the ball out from under his feet, the long ball forward looking for Josh Parker, but it's cleared away up towards the halfway line, and City win the possession back again though, and now there's a chance for McEachran to set another attack on the way for City into Josh Ashby on the edge of the penalty. Ashby goes down under a challenge, nothing given by the referee. It's cleared out of play for an Oxford City throw, but back in their own half of the field as Jalen Jones climbs the snowdrift to get the ball back. It's back with Jones again. City, I have to say, quite unfortunate to be 2-1 down in this one, but 2-1 down they are. And this is going to be out of play for a Buxton throw on this near side. Carbon couldn't keep that one in, and you get the feeling maybe that Buxton may start slowing things down a little bit now, as we're going to see the first Oxford City substitute of the afternoon, and it's going to be Louis Walsh coming on. I didn't see who left the field there, Andy, if you can just assist me.
Carbon's gone off.
So Carbon's day is done, thank you, Andy. Louis Walsh coming on for these last 15 minutes or so at the Silverland Stadium. Knows his way to goal as Walsh has scored a few goals this season, but there's not a huge amount of time left. Ball over the top from the Buxton goalkeeper, goes all the way through to his counterpart Jonathan McCauley in the Oxford City goal. Bounces the ball and then drops the ball to his feet, and then clears it over the halfway line, over the top of Parker's head, and Louis Walsh is going to pick this up, and into the corner it goes, and it's a throw in, I think. Can't see around the side. And in fact, there's a stoppage in play because a Buxton player has gone down. I don't think there's anything too concerning for Buxton. It will be an Oxford City throw. And I think it's Aaron Drew with this throw. He'll look to launch this one into the penalty area perhaps. Deep inside Buxton territory, right down by the corner flag really, and it's Aaron Drew, a short one to Parker, back to Drew again, and straight offside. So that was too easy, that really, a 1-2 between Drew and Parker, and just offside, and City have just got to be a little bit smarter, haven't they? But they need to...
Yeah, but like I said before, there's 12 minutes to go, plus stoppage time, and we're going to get a bit of that. So let's say at least 15 minutes. There's time. They just need to, again, don't. I know it sounds silly, but don't concede anymore. Keep that scoreline at 2-1, and then just bring the game to Buxton, because on the whole, on the balance, they've been the better team. It's just that they switched off just a moment and get punished, which is like in any league in England. They just need to start creating a little bit more in front of goal.
City back in possession from the throw, back to the goalkeeper Macaulay, little short ball out to Ashby, but they're being penned into their own penalty area at the moment, City. Now they've managed to get the ball forward to Lewis Walsh. Walsh turns his man and plays a little ball in field to Zach McEachran rather. McEachran comes forward, Ashby bursts through and the ball out to the left, ball into the penalty area. There's a chance here, and it's a goal to Oxford City! And it's offside. Josh Parker has put the ball in the back of the net, but it's been ruled out for offside. Parker can't believe it.
Be interesting to see that back.
I mean, he has been straying offside a little bit, but the flag went up quickly, and the goal has been ruled out. Parker's now going over to have a word with the assistant referee, but the fact of the matter is it's been ruled out for offside. And there'll be a little bit of a break in play now because there's a Buxton man down in the penalty area.
Yeah, my instant impression is that looked harsh. I think he's been, I can't say for sure. I'll have to look at it back. But everyone wasn't expecting. It wasn't a blatant. There was no appeals for offside. If he was marginally offside. But we have to have a good look back at that.
Yeah, Josh Parker has been called offside a few times, but that did look tight. It really did. We'll have to see that back on the highlights later on. But the fact is, it remains 2-1 to Buxton. 10 minutes to go. No action at the moment because a Buxton player in the penalty area is receiving treatment. And I think it's Ravenhill, and it is. Ravenhill's going to have to make his way off to the side and then obviously come straight back on again, which is that stupid rule that I never understand, but that's what it is. It's going to be a free kick to Buxton eventually when Ravenhill finally gets off the field. And we'll be back underway now, and it's a free kick, and it'll be True Grant, the goalkeeper, who will take this over the halfway line. Jalen Jones is going to win that area and heads the ball into the back of a Buxton man, but Zach McEachran picks up the ball in the middle of the park and finds Lewis Coyle. Coyle back to McEachran. City still asking questions. Back to Coyle again. Little 1-2 with McEachran, but they're not going forward at the moment. They're just playing a few passes around the edge of the penalty area. Coyle turns his man and threads the ball in towards Scott, and now there's a chance here, and it's a shot at the goalkeeper, and easily dealt with there by True Grant.
Well, I just heard that from our analyst. I don't know if that was audible, but I've just seen a message from the analyst here at Oxford City. Just seen the goal back and he was offside. Sorry, onside.
Onside, yeah.
Onside, sorry, just to be perfectly clear. Which is a real stinger.
Yeah, that is not what we wanted to hear. But there's still 8 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Can they get themselves back into this game again? And there's a free kick here, and that will be I think, potentially a yellow card, because he pulled him back there. That was very blatant, and I think the captain, Connor Kirby, is going to get a yellow card here. And I have to say, rightly so, because he was spoken to in the first half. It was a blatant pullback on Josh Ashby in a needless part of the field, and it's a free kick to Oxford City. The Connor Kirby, the Buxton captain, getting a yellow card for his troubles. And City will look to launch this one into the penalty area. The only man inside the Oxford City half is the goalkeeper, Jonathan McCauley, and Ashby spots this ball down. He raises both arms into the air and he'll drive this in towards the penalty area, towards the back stick. Josh Parker tries to win the ball in the air, but pinging it around on the edge of the box. Free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. This is a really dangerous position for Oxford City. Free kick probably a yard or two outside the box, left of centre. This is Josh Parker or Josh Ashby territory, Andy.
Yeah, it's very wide of the box, isn't it? McEachran's done well to win the free kick, but somehow it's Will Truman who's down for Buxton. Is it too wide?
Well,
you have to get some whip on it, won't you?
Thinking back to last year, this is a slightly closer in, but roughly the same position that Josh Parker scored that goal at Wealdstone, although he was slightly further out from that one.
It would take something special, I think, here. But they're two very special players, so let's see what they've got.
84 minutes ticks over. Buxton 2, Oxford City 1. City just had a goal ruled out at the Castad. It's Oxford United 2, Middlesbrough 6 now. Azaz with another goal and Conway, so not a good afternoon at all for City. It looks like it's going to be either Lewis Coyle or Parker. It's going to be Parker with the shot over the bar. The ironic cheers, as you can hear, and that didn't trouble anybody at all, apart from the supporters in the stand behind the goal away to our right. Disappointing free kick from Josh Parker there. 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Buxton 2, Oxford City 1. And Parker will be furious that he didn't at least hit the target with that free kick. It was high, wide and not so handsome. And needless to say, the goalkeeper for Buxton, True Grant's taking a little bit of time to get this game back underway, and he does so now. And then there's another free kick. It's getting a little bit tetchy and a little bit scrappy, and Buxton are putting their foot in, and it's going to be another yellow card, and this is a yellow card to Ryan Viggers, the debutant, for that foul. And Buxton are trying to defend this lead by whatever method they can, whether that's legally or otherwise. Game back underway. City need to get the ball forward. Burley on this near touchline brings the ball over the halfway line. He's looking for an option in front of him but hasn't got one, so he has to go back to Jalen Jones. Jones in the centre circle. Out to the left-hand side to Aaron Drew. Drew chips the ball forward. And then a bit of a miscontrol there by Ashby, and it allows Buxton to clear the ball, and back with Jalen Jones again. I don't think Mike Jenkins will be disappointed with his side's performance today. He'll clearly be disappointed with the result if it stays like this, but as I mentioned before that goal, if City keep playing the way they have been, surely they're going to get themselves up the table, because they've been playing well.
Yeah, I have to agree. They just need to see out results. They're just readying Alfie Potter here. I'm not quite sure who to replace. Maybe McEachran and Tom Scott. In fact, is going to come off.
Yeah, Tom Scott off for Alfie Potter for these last few minutes.
Just looking at the other changes on the bench for Oxford City, it's all defensive, so this could well be the final throw of the dice. There's going to have to be a few minutes added on here because there's been a lot of injuries.
Injuries in inverted commas, I would say, Andy.
Yeah, that's the one.
I don't think that there's any reason for that Buxton lad to be on the deck because he was not involved in play, and we're going to see another substitution, and it's Ryan Viggers is coming off, so maybe he was injured, but a sound debut for Viggers, the substitute, being substituted, and coming on for the last few minutes will be Sam Tomlinson. Buxton just running the clock down. As you say, the referee should be adding all this on. I would be very disappointed if we didn't see at least 5 minutes. At least 5 minutes, I would say, Andy, of time added on at the end of this second half.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Because if they've been timing it, then it would be more than that. Like we saw last season when there was like 12 minutes added on for a small amount of time, but then they left that behind.
They left that
the
behind
PGMOL, didn't they?
After Aldershot, yeah, when we had about 12 or 13. Anyway, it's a throw into City. Get back underway, but cleared away. The substitute Tomlinson chests the ball down and then turns his man, and good tackle from Reece Fleet. But it's going to go out of play for a Buxton throw. Pretty much on the halfway line. Kieran Burton slowly walks to the ball to take this throw, and he's taking his time, as is his wont. 2 minutes to go. Eventually we'll get the game back underway, and we do, and Burton launches it up the line. Andre Burley hooks the ball over his shoulder, but that's going to go out of play for another Buxton throw, and time running out now for Oxford City, and Burton in no hurry whatsoever to take this. The referee needs to tell Burton to get on with it, and he does, because Burton was clearly taking his time there. And City have got a little bit of defending to do now, because Buxton have burst into the penalty area, but it's hooked away, but back in Buxton's possession again on this near touchline, and there's a player down again for Buxton in the penalty area, holding his head. The referee has stopped play, and there's been an awful lot of injuries in these last few minutes, so I'm saying now, Andy, we should be seeing 6 or 7.
Again, you'd hope so, but you just never know, do you? You never know what the fourth officials and the referees are thinking. I think it should be towards the 6 mark rather than the 5, but I reckon they'll just put on that customary 5. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong.
But in the not less, I mean in the more sort of way. But again, there's another injury here. It's another minute. Let's just see.
Lewis Walsh just asking the referee whether he has stopped his watch, and the referee, I think, has confirmed that he has. We are into the dying seconds of the 90. It's just about to tick over, so we'll be seeing how much time is going to be added on very, very shortly by the fourth official, as the clock ticks over now to 90. And as soon as we see the board, we'll let you know how long is left, and it is going to be 6, which is about right. Possibly 1 more minute, I would say, but 6 or 7 would have been about right. And we're into that 6 minutes now, but we haven't restarted yet, so it should, in theory, still be 6, because Buxton player laying face down in the penalty area still, and he's up on his haunches now, but we still haven't got back underway. Buxton 2, Oxford City 1. BBC Radio Oxford on BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website and app. The dying seconds at the Kassam. Oxford United have had a day to forget. Oxford United 2, Middlesbrough 6 at the Kassam Stadium in the Championship. Still not back underway here. We've had about 3 minutes since we've had any action. So when we get back underway, Andy, we still have minutes to play.
Yeah, so he's quite clearly hurt, but I'm just looking at the scoreboard here. We're on 91-20. That's going to tick over to 92. So we'll be going until, at least 97. Plus the more, just plus the added time, if you like.
Yeah.
You just got to hope that the referees give it the full amount. Let's see. I mean, keep saying let's see. I'm just looking at the rain just flying around the stadium. Surely that you can't continue the Buxton. There's a shake of the head from the physio. I'm not sure if they have any substitutes left.
It's going to be a drop ball to restart, because the referee stopped the game because of the injury. There wasn't a foul, so it's going to be a drop ball, and Buxton were in possession, so they'll regain the possession from this drop ball. And City have a bit of defending to do. We're back underway at last. 6 minutes to go in from here, because the board went up while that injury was being treated. So, bit of time. Can City get something at the death? They have defending to do though at the moment, because Buxton coming forward again, and Fitzhugh strayed offside, so City will get an opportunity to launch the ball back into enemy territory again, and goalkeeper Macaulay, referees just stopping play again because we are now going to see the substitution, and it's going to be Diego Girolamo coming on for these dying moments, replacing the injured Sam Tomlinson, who was on the field for no more than about 10 minutes, Andy, with his injury. So
yeah, and that's a change that shows that why Buxton are up there. Diego Di Girolamo scored a lot of goals in his years at Buxton, somewhat of a cult hero here, and to have him on the bench is pretty impressive in its own right.
Now there's an opportunity here then to get up the other end of the field, and they've done so quickly, and it's a corner for Oxford City. We are into the 3rd minute of 6 added. No, we're not, because we only just started. We're into the 1st minute of 6 added on, so there's still a good 4 or 5 minutes to go. Corner to Oxford City then, over on the far side of the ground from the press box. Everybody up really from the back for City, into the penalty area, and it's gone over everybody. A punch from the goalkeeper, and it's another corner. So Lewis Coyle caused a problem with that first corner. He's coming over to take this one as well. The goalkeeper got enough on that one to push it away for another Oxford City corner. Deep into stoppage time. Buxton 2, Oxford City 1. It's going to be a corner from this near side now, and Coyle will launch this one into the box. In swinger, Jalen Jones at the back post. To be fair there, True Grant, brave goalkeeping, and he's caught that one under pressure from Jalen Jones. He's going to get up, and referee just checking he's okay. He's definitely okay. That was a brave goalkeeping from the home goalkeeper there, and referee now needs to tell Grant to get on with it, because he's holding on to the ball here and just letting the clock run down. Referee says to Grant, get on with it, and Grant drop kicks it over the halfway line, and City need to try and get forward again, but Buxton in possession at the moment, nearly snuck through to the substitute Di Girolamo, but Buxton back in possession in their own half again. Ball over the top finds Ravenhill, back through though to the goalkeeper Macaulay. Drops the ball to his feet, and Macaulay will launch this one back over the halfway line. Final dying seconds, dying embers of this game. Grant clears it out of the ground. Ross Jenkins races up the line to retrieve the ball to get this throw going as quickly as we can, with Andre Burley on the halfway line. He steals several yards. He's stealing far too many yards, and referee's forcing him back, but then he just throws it anyway, and the referee allows it to go on. Ashby wins the header in the it's Buxton 2, Oxford City 1. We're deep into stoppage time here. Josh Parker had a goal ruled out for offside, and we saw a replay and it didn't appear to be offside, and that would have made it 2-2. But City have been in this game, but they trail again, and the goal in the 78th minute from Ryan Viggers, the substitute for Buxton, has put the Derbyshire side in front, and we're deep into 6 minutes of time added on. The referee getting True Grant, to the goalkeeper for Buxton, to get a move on, because he's running the clock down. We've had a lot of stoppages in this second half. The referee added on 6 minutes, but during that 6 minutes we had more stoppages, so we've probably still got a minute or so to go. Ball over the halfway line. City need to get this forward. Hook towards Parker, who gets a shove in the back. The referee says nothing doing and playing on. Parker has been really instrumental in most of City's attacking play, and as I say, had that goal ruled out, but now Buxton back in possession on the halfway line. City win the ball back through Lewis Walsh, the substitute. Andre Burley goes down under a challenge. There's a free kick on this near touchline. Chance perhaps for City to drive one more ball into the penalty area. If they do end up losing this one, it will be another one of those games that's got away from Ross Jenkins' men, because they've arguably been for much of the game the better side today, but they trail to the 2-1. Josh Ashby carefully spots this ball down, and he's going to look to whip this one into the box from this near side touchline. Raises both arms into the air. Jalen Jones, the 6'7" centre half, is up there. That's who it's aimed towards. Punch from Grant. Chance for Josh Parker. Parker, though, slips as he tries to take the shot, and it's allowing Buxton to clear the ball to the halfway line again. Picked up by Lewis Walsh, the substitute. Walsh, square pass to Josh Ashby. He's inside his own half at the moment, though, so he gets the ball forward towards City, towards Jalen Jones, and then True Grant comes out, and it's in fact offside anyway. Jalen Jones had just strayed offside, and we've only got a matter of seconds to go.
Yeah, it's Hail Mary stuff, isn't it? If you know your American football, they're just launching it, Oxford City. It's that stage of the game. It depends how many minutes the officials want to add on to the stoppage time already. It's anyone's game to know how many minutes are going to be added now.
It's not long at all. That is the final whistle as soon as the ball was cleared by True Grant, and Buxton have held on to record a 2-1 victory. They took the lead in the first half through Ben Salt. Oxford City equalised just after the half hour through Jaden Carbon's wind-assisted cross, and City were the better side in the second half, but they were caught by a sucker punch 15 minutes from time. Macaulay saved well from Connor Kirby, but the ball just parried out to Ryan Viggers, the debutant for Buxton, and he rifled in to make it 2-1. City then had that goal ruled out for offside, and they have to go back down the M6. The final score here is Buxton 2, Oxford City 1.
Defeat for Banbury United at Harborough today, but a win for Tame United against Aylesbury United in their Southern League derby by 4-0. You're up to date with what's been going on locally and nationally. Time for Wasn't It the Game? This is Wasn't It the Game from BBC Radio Oxford Sport, live from the Kassam Stadium. It's been damp, it's been wet, and Oxford United to an extent have been schooled. They've been hit for 6 by Middlesbrough.